Oh, hello. Hello. I don't know what's going on with my hair. I look like a greasy old man. Welcome. Here we are. We're live on YouTube. I'm about to go live on TikTok and Instagram. Wanted to get YouTube set up first. The lighting is really weird. But that's fine. That's fine. Welcome. Okay, I'm pressing live on the other platforms. Go and go. And then I'm going to get out of my chair. Oh, hello, George. Hello. Okay, now we're live on 3 platforms. I might be overdoing it. I may have a tendency to make things more difficult and harder than they need to be. And this live streaming experience is the perfect example of that, because I can't just go live on 1 platform. I have to go live on 3 at the same time. I can't just make a beginner back to basics that's 4 days long. I have to make it 10 days long. Like, it's like so on brand for me. Yeah, hard relate. Okay, welcome. Thank you for joining me. We are live on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Hi, Lydia. Thank you for being here. Thanks for joining in. Good morning in Australia. Hi, Danny. How are you? Titan Gray, thanks for joining in. Welcome. We're just going to wait 30 more seconds as everybody jumps in here. Today is day 8 of our Back to Basics challenge. This is a free challenge. Obviously, we've been doing it for 8 days. You can join the challenge at any time. You can, thanks, Dallas. You can join in through the link in my bio. Hi, Mike. Oh, sorry. Hi, Mike and Sveta and Wilco. Noyan's here and everybody on TikTok and Instagram. So this is a free challenge and we can join in anytime. The link is in my bio. You will start at day 1. If you join now, hi Kurt. If you join now, you will start at day 1. I can't send you the videos to catch you up. You just have to wait for your emails to catch up, but it is free. You're absolutely welcome to join anytime. It is an evergreen challenge. So please feel free to jump in. We have 2 more days after this. We're done on Monday, and then we can all take a second to breathe. So our topic of today in our challenge was combos and transitions. So far, my cats are fighting. So much fun. I love them so much. I do. So far in day 1, we did figure 8s, forward and reverse. Day 2, we talked about passing. So we did basic pass and we did dip pass. We're going to talk about that today. Day 3, we did, windshield wiper, hand rolls. Day 4 was neck wrap. Whoa, there goes my lights. Neck wrap was day 4. And then we did high-low whip. It might have been the other way around. Day 4 might have been the high-low whip. Day 5 might have been the neck wrap. Day 6 was backhand flip. So these are all the skills you learn in the challenge. Yesterday, we talked about footwork and what to do with your feet while you're spinning. And then today, we're talking about how do we put all these skills together. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about creative freestyling. And then on the last day, Monday, we have a big combo that we're going to learn that encompasses all the skills we talked about in the challenge. So you don't want to miss the Monday live stream. If you do miss them, I will send you the replay of the live stream in the next day's email. So don't feel like if you miss these live streams that you're missing out. You will get the live streams emailed to you if you join the challenge. So like I said, challenge is open for anyone to join. The purpose of us doing back to basics is if we want to get to those next level skills, we want to get to those intermediate, advanced, professional level, you have to have a strong foundation. You have to have a really good understanding and handle of the basic foundational techniques, because those are the techniques that are the building blocks of those advanced level skills. And I see a lot of people out there that want to skip the beginning, skip the technique, and just get to the fancy stuff. It's that instant gratification that we're all so used to now. And like, maybe you'll be able to learn a skill. It might take you a long time to get there, but you're not going to have the deep base and foundation underneath you that's going to make that skill consistent and fun and take you other places. So we don't want to skip our beginning levels. And I've been talking about it every single day. Bruce Lee talked about this, so you know it's legit. because Bruce Lee is legit in its beginner's mind. It doesn't matter how good you are, how far along the path of mastery you are in. There is always something to be learned and always something to be gained by being a beginner, by going back to the beginning, going back to the basics, reevaluating, re-downloading those skills, because what you heard the first time you learned something, say figure eight, the first time you learned a figure eight, you didn't hear all the details of a figure eight. And so then once you have a little bit more understanding, you can always go back and refine those skills, and that's going to pay off later. So beginner's mind, Bruce Lee made it a thing, so we trust in Bruce Lee. Bruce knows everything. I saw a question here. I'm scrolling back up. I wish I could I can't find it. I can't find it. Anyway, so we're talking about combos and connections today. I'm going to pick my light back up because I knocked it over. Okay, so combos and connections. The first one I want to talk about is basic pass to dip pass. Now, like I've been saying for the other days in the challenges, I've already sent you the tutorial in your emails if you're part of this challenge. So I'm not going to reteach the whole skill. What I'm going to do is refine it. So if you want to watch the tutorial, you can go to my link in bio, and you know what to do. Link in bio. We know how to work the internet now. No need to give you instructions. So first combo we're doing is basic pass to dip pass. It's the first combo I will teach you in any of my classes. It's called Simple Combo. I do have a whole course on it. It's like a little mini course. It's only $10 if you want to like really go deep into it. It should be, I don't know if it's linked in my bio, but if you click more courses in my bio, it'll be in there. So basically what this simple combo is going to teach us is how to keep the staff moving while moving from one hand to the other hand and then back again. So that's why it's really important that we can do all our skills in your right, in your left hand, because once we get into these higher level skills, we're using both hands the entire time. We're not just sticking with one hand. So make sure that you are practicing in both hands. Now, basic pass from forward figure eight. So you're starting at forward figure eights on your right side. So if I'm in my right hand is out to my side. This is a lateral figure eight. I can also face it. That's up to you. If you feel more comfortable facing your figure eight, you can do that too. And then when you go into your pass, you're just going to turn yourself 90 degrees to face the front, or you can do your figure eight out at the side and then not have to turn 90 degrees. And then you just swing down and up to the front. Now, it's really important that we do this pass right on center in front of our belly button. I've talked about that the last couple of days of how important your center line is to these skills, because we don't want for flow and continuity and speed, because everybody's looking for speed, like how fast can I go? If you're passing off center, you're slowing yourself down. You're giving your staff more distance to travel. So the ideal distance is down and up straight to my belly button. I do the pass on center. I move out to the side. That is the quickest, shortest, and most efficient path from one side, a pass, and then the other. So the pass is like right in front of my belly button. I'm containing the focal point of the circle I'm creating to the center of my body. But if you pass, say out here, I see this a lot. So you wait longer before you bring your backs of your hands together. You kind of wait until you get here. And then I go out here. I've completely lost my plane. So I've lost the path that my staff is traveling on. Plus I had a longer distance from here to here. I went from here to here. So whereas when I do it correctly, I don't move my body. It's only my hands moving. Whereas when I over rotate, I'm turning my body. My staff has to travel from that side all the way to this corner. Then I do my pass that's not on center. And then when I go back out to the side again, I'm sort of in this like no man's land of pattern. And I want to show you from the side, from the distance. So I'm going to show you the correct way. So forward figure eight, nice and tight out to the side. Super efficient straight line from one side to the other. Shabam, shabam, shabam. Quick. But what I see a lot is people over rotating, passing out here, and then coming out here. So do you see how my line sort of curves around my center? I'll do that one more time. You start to the side, you over rotate, and then my staff is out here. So I've taken this straight line that goes from here to here, and I've taken it like around the world like that. That is more distance for my staff and my hands to travel. Therefore, you will go slower. Okay, so when you are working in your combos and working with your staff and you're trying to put things together, which will come into play tomorrow, the tighter to your center line, imagine you're wearing a zipper, the tighter you make all your skills to your personal zipper, the faster and more efficient they will be. The farther away you move from your center line, the slower and less efficient your skills will be. So you can take that in as like a universal rule. The goal, once we get into the harder skills, is how contained and tight can we make the focal points of our circle to our own center line of our body to create the most efficient, smoothest flow. So that's where we're going. So your basic pass is coming from a forward figure eight. I'm passing right on center, and because I keep moving, that means the opposite side is a reverse figure eight. So that means my basic pass is considered a forward pass because it starts in forward figure eights. So when you're out there in the wild, just spinning your staff or your lightsaber, having a good time, doing whatever you're doing, and you're like, ooh, I want to do this basic pass, all you need to know is where it starts. So I just need to get to forward figure eights. Whatever I'm doing, I just need to get to forward figure eights in order to do this basic pass. And then I know no matter what, I'm going to end in reverse figure eights. So then I can do whatever I want to do from my reverse figure eights. Okay. So what you need to know for every skill that you want to put in combo is what direction does it start? You only have two directions, forward or reverse. And what direction does it end? Forward or reverse. Once you know that, you can put that in to your basic flow. So your basic flow is forward figure eights, swing down to reverse, up and over to forward. That whole cycle is called basic flow. Forward, reverse, forward. So I know if my pass starts in a forward figure eight and it ends in a reverse figure eight, I know exactly where I can put that within my basic flow, because my basic flow is going to be my base pattern that I'm going to use for everything. Okay? So it doesn't matter what skill you're doing. For example, backhand flips. Well, technically backhand flips are going to start from a reverse figure eight. I do a backhand flip, it'll take me back to a reverse figure eight because it doesn't switch hands. So I know wherever I'm at in my basic flow, if I'm reverse, I have a backhand flip available to me either in the front or the back plane. Okay? And that will become more clear as we move into more intermediate skills and we start layering skills on top of each other when you're like, oh, I understand. On Instagram, the image is very clear. Here on YouTube, very bad. Yeah, I don't know. I can't help these things. I can't help these things. I can't. It might be because I'm live streaming on like multiple platforms. I do find that the YouTube live streaming, the quality is really poor, and there's a lot of glitches with the YouTube live stream because there's sometimes where I press go live and nothing happens. And then I have to redo the link. Whereas that same thing doesn't happen on TikTok and Instagram. So if you don't want poor quality on YouTube, because it looks clear on my end, Instagram or TikTok will have a clearer image. And my mic is connected to TikTok. So the best sound. Do you have a starter gear video? Yes, I do. Go to my link in bio. I assume gear, you mean staff. So if you're looking for a staff, go find my DIY staff video about how I make my staffs for under $10, under $15. That's where I would start. And then you can join this Back to Basics challenge because we start right at the beginning. Or another good option is my Beginner Essentials course, which has 10 essential beginner skills and then a couple combos at the end. And then there's also the Academy, the All Access Academy, where you get access to everything, all of my video tutorials and courses. And then there's also my free course that you can also join. All of those links are in my bio. So you like, just go click things. Go click things on the internet. YouTube eats butt cheeks. Yes. Is it me or is the bow really light? The bow is very, very light. Please do not do these skills with heavy tools. You're not proving anything to anybody, okay? I like if you're doing things with heavy tools, I'm more judging you than if you're doing them with light skills. Because I'm like, ooh, what are you trying to compensate and prove to anyone? Because I don't think, yeah, better quality over here and no ads interrupting. Yeah, I don't know. YouTube. It's funny because they want people to go onto YouTube and not be on these apps. And then like the whole platform is just kind of shitty compared to Instagram and YouTube. And that's saying a lot because Instagram isn't that fantastic. Okay. The one combo I want to go over that I forgot to put in the tutorial for our day 8 back to basics challenge is basic pass to backhand flip. Okay. I forgot to put it in there. I'm sorry. So we're doing it now. So you're going to start in your right hand and you're going to start with your forward figure 8s out at your right side. So make sure you're not doing your figure 8s like this and then trying to pass like this. That's not how the staff moves, okay? So your staff is always going to create circles and move in a straight line. So I have to do my forward figure 8s out at my right side, and then I'm going to do my pass facing the front so I don't change the position of my body or my arm. So from my forward figure 8 to finish a loop at the back, swing down and up, meet the backs of my hands together, and then I'm staying right on center, right in front of my belly button. I want to make this circle, this focal point of this circle, as small as possible. So the tighter I squeeze my hands together and the tighter I pass, the better it's going to be. The more efficient and faster this pass is going to be. Okay, so I'm passing to my left hand here, taking my right hand away, and I'm going to leave my left hand right on center. I have a 90-degree angle with my palm up. This is our exact starting position for our backhand flip. So as soon as you pass to this left hand, stay on center, and then you're going to move into your full internal rotation. Find that straight elbow. Find that palm up on the underside. You give your elbow a little kick. This is our progression into backhand flips where you do your back or your dead stick, and then you catch underneath. From this catching position, when we do the backhand flip for real, you're moving all the way around the circle, push down and out, and that's going to take us to reverse figure 8s. Okay, and then we want to do all this without stopping and keeping both skills, our basic pass and our backhand flip, contained to our center body. So I'm going to try and do it within the width of my pocket on my hoodie. Okay, so I'm going to do that again. Forward figure 8s. Swing down and up to the center. Basic pass right on center. Keep my hand where it is. Take my right hand out of the way. Internally rotate for this backhand flip. And then I'm not going to stop there. So I do my backhand flip, turn it over, catch palm up, exactly right on center. Turn my palm over, push down and out to reverse figure 8s in the opposite hand. And then from our reverse figure 8s, the reverse pass that we know right now, finish the loop at the back. You can dip, pass, back to forward. And I want to see this perpendicular line with your staff right in the center of your body. Hi, Ozzy. Before you move on into your figure 8s. Hi, can I help you? Do you need something? Yeah. Needs attention? Needs attention? Nobody's paying attention to Ozzy? No. Okay, one more time. So forward figure 8s. Finish the loop at the back. Swing down and up, right on center. Basic pass, stay on center. Backhand flip, push down. Reverse figure 8s, and then you can dip yourself back to center. So it looks like this. Forward figure 8, basic pass, dip, pass, reverse figure 8, dip, pass. I said dip, pass. Forward figure 8, basic pass, backhand flip, reverse figure 8, dip, pass. Okay, so that's going to be important. That's going to be the one combo that I forgot to put in the videos for you. Okay. Okay, I'm just looking at questions. Okay, I accidentally closed Instagram. Thanks a lot, iPhone. Okay, this is live. This is live. I love that pass into backhand flips. Just feels so cool. Excellent. So it should feel easy. So this is the thing that when we get into combos, you shouldn't be fighting with your staff. If you feel like you're fighting with your staff and it's getting a little, like, it's almost like it has resistance, like when you're moving through skills, It's almost like you're like, it's like the staff doesn't want to go. The staff is giving you resistance. That probably means that you're not following the flow and the mechanics that you set up. So if that's the case for you, the combo I want you to go back to, your base combo, is basic flow. If you can download basic flow into your brain and your body so that it becomes mindless, it is just muscle memory, you're going to have a way easier time learning any single combo that we put together, because every single thing that we do is coming from either forward or reverse figure eights. Everything, absolutely everything, all the way up to a professional level. Okay. Hello, Ozzy. Thank you for being here. Okay. I'm going to go back to basic flow for a second, but Ozzy needs some attention. Ozzy needs some attention. Ozzy Bear. Ozzy Bear just needs somebody to hold him. Yes? Yes? Okay, so I will go back to basic flow in a second. Just had to give some Ozzy love. Aw, just a cute little guy. George is around here. Oh, George is in the cat tree in his spot. Okay, you're done. Thank you. Okay, back to basic flow. So if you're having trouble, like if you're like trying to put skills together, and what we talk about tomorrow is freestyling, of like how do you just play and find your way to certain spaces just by following your curiosity and your flow. So when that starts to happen, you might start feeling some resistance. And if that is the case, it's probably because you're going against the staff's natural mechanics. So its natural mechanics is basic flow. Okay, excuse me. Okay, thank you so much, Oz. Okay, so your natural mechanics are going to be forward figure eights, because once we're anchored with our hand, which we are, the shape your staff is going to make is always a circle. It doesn't, because we're anchored at this point, it has no choice but to make circles. So forward figure eights. From forward means your top end is moving away from you. So it's moving in a forward direction. I'm always going to swing down to get to reverse on my opposite side. And your forward and reverse figure eights are always directly 180 degrees from each other. So if I'm doing forward figure eights at my right side, my reverse figure eights will be directly at my left side. So they are on opposite sides of each other. Okay, the farther away, the better. So I know from a forward figure eight, I know I will always swing down to get to reverse, because I'm just following the mechanics the staff already has. Because I say this a lot, once you put the staff in motion, it has energy, it has inertia. Okay, it needs to come to it needs friction or some sort of mechanism to stop it once you put it in motion. So that may be your arm or your muscles. But once it's moving, if I follow the direction it's going, it wants to go down. So I'm following the down to reverse. And then reverse is the figure eight where it's coming back on top of me. So it's coming towards me. And then for me to get anywhere from here, I'm always going to go up and over to the other side. So those are universal laws. Those are universal rules of staff spinning. That's always going to be true. Okay? So forward will always swing down to reverse. Reverse will always go up and over to forward. So if you're out there in the world and you're doing whatever sort of freestyling you're doing, and you get lost and you're like, oh, I'm in reverse, I don't know where to go. You know, from reverse, you're always going to go up and over to forward. So why not just follow that natural mechanic, follow that natural energy and inertia, and see where it takes you. And then when you're getting to combos, if you're losing steam or you're having trouble remembering a combo, it's probably because you're not aware of what direction your staff is moving. So whenever you're practicing skills, whether that's backhand flips or you're doing these simple combo, these passes, always make sure that you understand where your staff is starting and stopping, where it's starting and ending, and it'll be much easier for you to connect all the dots and put them all together. Okay. Whew. Talking without breathing is so on brand for me. Yeah, where's George? George is back there, like, does not care. Does not care. Okay, I'm just looking at questions. Are you a martial artist? I mean, yeah, technically. I'm not the type of person that's going to be like, I'm a martial artist. Like, I've done martial arts for work for the last 15 years. But I feel like I still have so much to learn as a martial artist that I feel like, yes, I can say I'm a martial artist because I've been training for 15 years, but I also know. Can you point to different cameras to identify? This is TikTok. This is Instagram. This is YouTube. Okay. George is like, whatever. All right. How is the stability for a toss in transition from one direction to the other? How is the stability for a toss in transition from one direction to the other? I'm not sure I understand your question, Sound Sensei. Can you word it in a slightly different way? I'm not sure I understand completely. Question, I don't have great quality because I live in France, or is it normal? It's just YouTube. I'm so sorry. It's just YouTube. YouTube is really challenging. The quality on YouTube is terrible. I'm still working on that question. How is the stability from a toss in transition from one direction to the other? Is it easy to toss rather than hand switch for the pass through into a new direction? It's more difficult to toss, obviously. So this is the difference between tosses and passes. Passes means that there's some connection to your body. The pass, the staff, never leaves your body. So it goes from one hand, it stays connected to my body directly into another hand. And so is it possible to direction change while in a row? I don't know, Mandy, is it? Is it possible to reverse elbow pop? Anyway, so if I'm passing are my safest skills to do, aside from just like figure eighting in one hand. So passing means that the staff never leaves my body. It's staying connected to me the whole time. So your degree for error is pretty minimal. The degree for error is just basically going to be mechanics. So are your mechanics working correctly? If not, you probably will mess it up and drop it. Totally fine. But if you want it to be consistent, it's just mechanics. Whereas a toss is going to involve a lot more specific and complicated technique. And then you're also adding the element of it leaving your hands and having to land somewhere else. So the minute that it leaves your hand, the skill gets that much harder because you're inviting all these other variables for error. So if I'm going to go basic pass into backhand flip, it's fairly consistent for me because I know my basic pass is going to be there. I'm not worried about dropping my basic pass before I get to my backhand flip. I might drop my backhand flip, totally fine. But whereas if I do, say, a toss into my left hand, into my backhand flip, if I haven't practiced the toss to my left hand and made that consistent and downloaded that into my body, there's always the possibility that I'm going to drop this toss before I get to the second toss. So as soon as you start adding tosses from one hand to the other in the place of passes, you're taking the level up to that intermediate level. So in the beginner level, we stick with the passes, maybe add one toss in there. Whereas when the more difficult we get, the higher in proficiency we get, that's when we start layering tosses into other things and then adding more details and complexity in there. So when you add a toss, it makes it more difficult. I was thinking of reverse to forward. Is a toss advisable? Sound. Got it, sound. There is different tosses from reverse to forward that are going to take you into a forward direction. I would not recommend making this dip pass a toss. That's just you are going to drop it for sure. This is just meant to be the most efficient path possible. There are many things, like an infinite amount of things that we can do from a reverse figure eight into a forward figure eight. we're just doing the one dip pass. But I would not try to make this specific dip pass a toss because you're not in a very good position here. You don't have a lot of range of motion like this. So I'm not going to be able to do a good toss, and then I have a really awkward catch. So if you wanted to make a reverse figure eight, a toss into forward, the first thing I would give you is a backhand flip into forward. I would do backhand flip, catch backhand into forward figure eights if you wanted to make that a toss. But I would not try to make the dip pass a toss. That's just, it's just, you're never going to get that consistent. It's always going to feel weird. I hope that helps. Have you ever broken a finger practicing hand rolls or similar techniques? Not from hand rolls. I've broken fingers from like doing like big tosses and catching them places. I'm positive I've broken my finger on a ground catch before, but not from like rolls and stuff. These hella skills. Okay, I'm just looking. What happened to your hair? Why are we at every single freaking live stream? Somebody, Mandy, I think we should do some rolls. Every single live stream, somebody's like, what happened to your hair? I cut my hair 2 years ago, you guys. Get over it. Okay, if you don't like my hair, fine, don't watch me. God damn, I'm so tired of the hair questions. Like people still leave me comments of like, I miss your hair. Okay, I don't. The thing is when my hair is long, it does nothing. It just hangs there. I can't curl it. There's no volume. It's just like, it does not do anything. So short hair is just better for my hair texture. Thanks, Olerin. I am trying to grow it out just a little bit because I just want a little bit of floppiness. I think we should do some rolls. Yeah, but rolls aren't in the day 8. Oh, as a beginner, what weight should my stick be, please? As light as possible. So one more time. I have a DIY tutorial of how I make my staves. There are wood dowels from a hardware store. It's going to cost you $6 or $7, depending on where you live. These are, I think they're made of pine, so they're very, very light. These are great starter sticks. And you can get a variety of different lengths. So I highly recommend that you use a staff that's as light as possible. I like a 4-foot length just because that's the length that I like. You could go 5 foot, you could do 6 foot, you could do shorter. I wouldn't go any shorter than 2.5 feet though. It's gonna be a little bit too short. 3 foot is a really nice length, but I prefer this 4 foot. It's technically a Joe staff. Hardware, Jesus Christ. Hardware store, wood dowels, go get some of them. They're super cheap, very affordable, and it's going to be very accessible to everyone. Have you ever tried fire spinning? Yes, I have. I have a fire staff. I don't like it because it's bouncy because it's made of carbon fiber. So when I catch it, it has like a little bit of a vibration and a bounce to it. Drives me insane. Any suggestions for a tall guy? I'm 6'2". Grab a 5 foot to 6 foot bow. But keep in mind, this is what I've been saying every day, because a lot of us don't have big studio spaces to practice in. So if you're practicing inside right now, it's winter where you are, you're in the Northern Hemisphere, get yourself an inside stick. An inside stick is like 2.5 to 3.5 feet long so that you can practice inside, because the longer your stick is, the more space it takes up. And if you're practicing inside in your living room, you probably don't have enough space. Like I don't have enough space to use my 5 foot bow in here. And I got lots of space, but I'm going to run out of space really quickly the longer my staff is. So if you're in an enclosed space, a shorter staff is going to be more efficient for you. If you're outside, go try a long staff. And the good thing about these wood dowels is they're so cheap and accessible that you can get multiple lengths. So get a short one, get a 4 foot, get a 5 foot, get a 6 foot, and then just practice all these skills, because the skills aren't going to change. Just practice all these skills with different lengths of stabs, and then you'll start seeing the difference. It's very subtle. The difference between the lengths, how fast they move, the longer they are, the slower they are, generally the heavier they are. And so just play with that. Low ceilings are a pain. Yeah, RIP ceiling. I saw a question here. Is the handrail direction change the same as a propeller? That's a good question. And that kind of gets us into Mandy asking for rolls. So a propeller is a version of a windshield wiper. Yes. So, this is another good combo. So windshield wiper as a direction change. If you're like really feeling that you've got a hold on basic flow in the figure eights and all the basics, this direction change is a really good one for you to practice. So if I start in my right hand going forward, this is our day 2 skill, is hand rolls. I finish the loop at the back. I swing my arm down and up to the front. I do thumb to pinky hand roll, pause, pinky to thumb hand roll, and then I follow the direction of the staff. Now I'm in reverse figure eights on this side because I can use my hand roll as a direction change. So I'll just give you my direction change spiel. Once your staff is in motion, it has energy and inertia. And if I want to go from forward figure eights to reverse figure eights, I'm not going to be able to just be like forward figure eights and then suddenly just like reverse figure eights. That's going to put a lot of strain on your ligaments and joints. That's usually where you're going to get smacked in the face with it. Because again, once your staff is in motion, it has energy, it has inertia. So if we want to go from forward figure eights to reverse figure eights, we have to create an intentional stop sign. So think about it if you're driving. If you're driving straight down a highway at highway speeds, and suddenly you're like, oh my God, I forgot something at home, I got to turn around, you're probably not going to bust a I'm doing my handbrake and turn for my point turn 180 in my car. Like, I'm not going to do that on the highway. I'm not going to be like going 120 and then suddenly being like and going the opposite direction. No, you have to slow down. You have to come to at least a rolling stop in order to turn around and go back the other direction. The same thing goes with your staff. I have to find a stop sign before I can go the opposite direction. It can be a rolling stop. I know we all have bad habits at stop signs. So we can use skills strategically and specifically to add that intentional stop sign in for us. Mandy says, did you know Cirque is casting for a baton act right now? I think you should submit. I'm in their database. I'm part of the Cirque du Soleil database. They have my stuff. I just updated my stuff not too long ago, so I don't have anything else to submit. They have all my videos. So yeah, they can call me. They can call me. Anyway, forward figure eight. So we're going to add the windshield wiper as our intentional stop sign. So I'm forward figure eighting, finish the loop at the back, swing down and up, hand roll 1, 2, because this windshield wiper is a natural stop sign that we go the opposite direction because we've slowed down enough and we use this catch as our handbrake, which allows us to go the other direction. Then when I swing through, I can go back to reverse figure eights. So I'm going from forward figure eights, swing up, hand roll, that takes me to reverse figure eights. So we can use that as a natural stop sign. You have to resubmit new casting. Okay, maybe I'll do that. I don't know if I want performing contract right now, but options are options. Okay, so a propeller is the same sort of deal as a direction change. The propeller, I'm not going to teach the skill right now, but your propeller is half of a wrist elbow hybrid, and then you sort of cheat it, and then you push it back out. It's doing the same thing as our windshield wiper. So you go one way, pause, go the opposite way, pause. My propeller is going to be the same thing. So if I did my propeller inflow, it would still take me from forward to reverse figure eight. So if I wanted to replace my hand roll with a propeller, I could. If I wanted to just take my combo up a level. So that is a good question, Kurt. It's the new Hawaii show. I'm just old, Mandy. I'm just old. I'll talk to my Cirque contact and see if I need to resubmit. Nice use of reverse rolls. Okay. It's been... Elena says, I was wondering why some techniques scare me a little because I play electric bass. If I break a finger, it could be a problem. Yeah, that's a valid concern. I mean, most of the skills in a beginner level are not going to be finger breakers. Where we get into the finger breakers is in the more like advanced high intermediate skills, because we're adding a lot more force and whip and torque into skills. But at a beginner level, especially if you're not doing very many tosses, you should be quite fine on the finger breaking. But one thing I will say about just catching in general, and this is easier said than done, but you want to try not to catch with a rigid hand. So I'm going to do backhand flip, catch backhand for example. So I do backhand flip, catch backhand. If I have a really rigid hand here, like my hand is really tight and I have tension in my hand, think about this, is these bones are right close to the surface. There's not a lot of like skin and muscle and tissue on top of them. And so when this is rigid, it ends up being a trampoline. So if I have this rigid hand and my staff comes into my hand, it's either going to bite it and it's going to hurt, or it's going to bounce, which is also going to hurt. So what I want to try and do is I want to try and have a relaxed hand. It's ready, it's engaged, but there's no tension in it, so that when my staff